Is it just me and you?
Yeah. Tell me all about portion fix. I got out at like 10 too, just because sometimes Zoom takes forever to load. There's Nat.
Yeah.
And so I've just been sitting on here doing some work.
I know. Ours, how did your snow come out? Because ours was like, I don't even know why they had like off. Like it like literally snowed bad when I was on the phone with you, and then it stopped.
We didn't have any snow. Ours melted. It was all rain.
Yeah, that's what ours wound up being.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah, just crappy, you know. I mean, actually pretty warm. Tomorrow looks nice. So
we have and our school runs like a carnival, so it's not like they can extend the school year, so they just take it from spring vacation.
like I saw that last year. So you guys have a carnival like in Greece?
No, carnival. Yeah, like that. Yep.
That's awesome. Like when I watched that when I was a kid, I always wanted to have a school carnival.
Yep. So it's a big carnival, and it's like literally the money maker for the school, and it's already on the calendar, and so school literally gets out like 2 days before there. So with the bad weather, like there were times like they only got like 1 day for spring vacation once because it was really bad winter.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that spring break was around the cruise time. So I didn't have to pull Jude out for the 5 days, but it's not. They've got it after, I think.
Yeah. And some people, it's weird. Like some people in New York, they get a spring break today, like this week. It's strange.
Oh, like I think college is early too.
Yeah, like they're out this week, and then I guess maybe they just get Easter Monday off and Easter Friday, but I don't know.
Well, that's kind of crappy because it's just shitty weather right now for spring break, you know?
Yeah, totally. Well, let me post in the group.
So my girl. There we go. There's people.
Everybody. Did we ever hear back what time our call is with Autumn? My God. Well, I guess it's just going to be a nice intimate call tonight. I feel bad. I think people were on the Fit and Funky call Tuesday night, so I'm not going to keep people long, and I'm certainly not going to regurgitate all the information that Autumn Calabrese gave. It's been on Beachbody Champions. It's been enough places that I don't need to spend time to do that. But I did want to talk about some dates. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about something else. And I just want to say tomorrow, hopefully, if technology works, we will have held 10-star for the bonus. It was my goal to hold 10-star bonus for all 4 quarters, and then in the last quarter to do a leadership retreat, which I'm trying to finalize that so that those bonuses would go to paying for that. But what I've realized is it's been the easiest qualification I've ever been through. And so if you're not sure, because you should be sure, because I know a lot of you are going to earn a corporate bonus at some point this year. And so when you get to 2-star, 5-star, and 10-star, when there's a certain amount of weeks during the quarter. And so you have to hold that rank for consecutive 6 weeks within that. And so Preeti, for the first time, will earn a 2-star bonus, which is pretty cool. So that will come probably like in 6 weeks. But even though I'm lifetime 13-star, it doesn't go by what you are a lifetime. It goes by what you are paid at. And so for a long time, it was really hard to get paid at 10, because 10 means you have to have 5 diamonds on your left and 5 diamonds on your right. And the way it was for a long time, I had a lot of my diamonds in my 3rd business center, in my 2nd business center, and in my right leg. And then my left leg took a crap. And so I had to spend all last year rebuilding that. And what's really cool is that that's a pretty solid leg now, the left, which goes to show you in your own business, like, you know, you might be in the rebuilding phase and feeling frustrated. And I understand that frustration, but it doesn't have to be that way. And, you know, with the right people and attracting the right people, you can actually build that pretty sturdy. I mean, Jen Palmer was a fallen diamond when I inherited her, and now she's, as soon as her one of her coaches goes diamond, she'll go into 2-star qualification. So, you know, lots of amazing things can happen if you just kind of keep pushing through. But my whole point of this is, when I held my qualifications, I never wanted to go to people anymore and say, hey, I'm holding qualification. Like, I don't want to go to my team and say, hey, I want to be a superstar diamond. I just refuse to do that. It's just me. It's not that I don't have people that would like literally lay down their life for me, and I love them for it, but I don't want to run a business that way. I literally want to run a business where we have diamonds, we have star diamonds, because people are authentically building a business and chasing their own goals. And I know for myself that that has been a transition for me, and I think it's awesome because it allows, you know, us to get to different places based on our own goals. So that is the good news there. I wanted to give you a recommendation. I literally read this in a day. I am a speed reader, so, you know, I don't think that you guys, or maybe not, but it, like, you know how like some books are just hard to read, and then other books you just like can't put them down. Like I read this like Gabby Union book, like literally all day Sunday. Like, it was such a good book. But this book is actually really easy too, and it's 149 pages, and it is written by a Beachbody coach, and he's a successful, super successful Beachbody coach. You might not hear his name in terms of like super rank and all this other stuff, but he hear his name in terms of making a ton of money, which was his goal. You know, he was always like really adamant that his goal was not that he didn't pursue rank, but he pursued earning an income first. And so I know we recommend Get Over Your Damn Self as being able to kind of learn the business, but I think this is so much better. I think it like brings the world of multi-level marketing, but it brings in the world of that we are trying to help people. Like, it doesn't, you know, sometimes multi-level marketing can be so multi-level marketing that we don't even talk about like changing people's lives and doing all that. And so I think this actually talks about it in a really great way. And I think there's a lot of like, I call woo-woo stuff. And you trust me, you guys know, I believe in the woo-woo. I believe in the universe. I believe that people are put in your life for certain reasons. And I believe all that. Like, I literally go to bed sometimes and I'm like, you know what? There's going to be 3 people that are going to email me tomorrow. And it happens. Like, that's just me. And so he believes in the woo-woo too, but he gives you action items. And so like literally at the end of the chapter, if he's talking about vision, he's like, okay, this is what I want you to do. And so I love it because it actually is making you do something and actually getting you to the next place. And, you know, the whole premise of the book is that only a few people make a ton of money in multi-level marketing companies because a ton of people refuse to do the work that needs to be done in terms of their mindset in order to achieve it. And so they get so focused in the what do I have to do instead of the what can I do, or who do I need to become to achieve. Like, I know I will hit superstar diamond. I know I will hit it, but I know that personally, there's probably something that I need to do within me that'll make that happen. And so it's not like, okay, I need to point this one and this one needs to get to diamond and that one needs to do it. It's like, I literally think there's probably something that I need to work out in my own brain. And like, once I figure that out, like, it all just falls into place. And so he literally talks about that. And so the thing is, what he was talking about is that people don't think big. They literally don't think big. Like, and I talked about it like in my post today. Like, when I started my business, I just wanted to sit in the front row. Like, I didn't think I was going to be financially independent. I didn't think I was going to make a whole lot of money. I just was like, oh, that's cool. Those people sit in the front row. Well, guess what? What do I have to do? I have to be diamond? Okay, I'm going to do that. And as I grew as a person, I started to have a bigger vision. And I started to say to myself, you know, if those people can do it, so can I. And I literally believe that. Like, I literally didn't start looking at people who were making six figures and think to myself, oh, I can't do that, or they're better than me, or they have this, or they have that. I just literally said to myself, I can do it. I can do that. And, you know, this is the beginning of the year for Elite. Every year for Elite, I know I will hit Elite. I have no clue how I'm going to hit Elite. I have no clue who my diamonds are that are going to help me hit Elite. I have no idea if I'm going to hit it early or if I'm going to like squeak by in December, but I will be an elite coach and I will lead an elite team. And, you know, I asked in the other group about Success Club, like, how many people really believe every month that they will hit Success Club? Because I got to tell you, my people who hit Success Club are the people that decide that they will hit it. Like, I've talked to Kelly Campbell on the 28th of the month because we talk every other Tuesday, and she'll be like, oh, you know, I'm like at 2, or I just kind of returned or whatever. And she'll be like, I don't know, whatever. And I was like, stop saying you don't know, because you do it every freaking month. You do it, you make it happen. And it has to do with the belief. And so there's people like Kelly Campbell that it's the 28th of the month and she's not at Success Club and she will figure out how to do it. And I'm not talking about like, go call your Uncle Paul to go buy some Beachbody bars. Like, I'm talking about like, she'll figure it out. And then I have the same people that it's the 28th of the month and they're at Success Club 6. I mean, they're at Success Club 2. And you know what they tell me? Oh, you know, March is going to be amazing. You know what? March is not going to be amazing because you have already quit in February. And that's the difference. Literally, that is the difference, because you've already decided that you can't do something, and yet you've decided that March is going to be so terrific. And so you're kind of like setting yourself up. And so it's kind of like to be mindset. Like, to be mindset is all about eating and thinking and all this other stuff. And we don't realize the things that we say to ourselves in our own business that cripples us. And I get it. I can very much cripple my own self sometimes. You know, I have those moments where I struggle and I'm like, you know, can I do this or whatever? But I don't know where it comes from. But it literally comes from, I will figure this out. I will figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but I will. I have it within me to figure it out. And those are my coaches that actually move their business forward. Like, anybody that has become a diamond on my team, They have become a diamond because they decided they were going to be a diamond before they even were a diamond. Like they were just like, I'm going for it. I got to get these coaches. This is what I need to do. I need to make it happen. And they need to make it happen by a certain date. And that's what it is. And they just stop worrying about it. Like Tina Robbins was going to like lose her diamond. And she's just like, well, what do I have to do so I don't lose that? And I was like, well, you need to create an emerald because your emerald's like gone, whatever. And then you need to do that. And she's like, okay. And she literally like talked to somebody, whatever. That person signed up her husband, signed up a friend, like made it happen because she knew there was no way in hell she was dropping her diamond. And she just made it happen. And here's the thing. We spend so much time thinking about not being good enough when it's not about whether we're good enough. Because I don't know if you've ever been to a Beachbody event. There's a hell of a lot of people making a lot of money that can't even hold a candle to half of you. Like literally. And it all has to do with the fact that they just believe in themselves more. They literally just believe in themselves more. They literally think that they can do this. That's it. I mean, like Preeti and Nicole, and Amber and Jen, they're going to share with you next week. Like that's the first thing they said to me. They were like, holy shit, there's a lot of people that are like really successful, but there's like nothing amazing. And here's the thing. There's nothing amazing and there's no secret to this business. There is no secret. It really isn't. It is about what you think you're going to do, what you will do, and how you believe in it. And so this actually really made me think because in the book they talk about there's a Native American thing and it talks about 7 generations of people. And that when you do things in your life, you're not just doing them for you, you're doing them for future generations, like 7 generations down. Like what you do today can influence 7 generations. And I've already seen it in my own life. I grew up in an abusive household. My children do not grow up in an abusive household. Like how much are they going to be different because of that? How much are their children going to be? You know what? They actually have a parent who is not depressed her whole life and running around being negative and abusive. And how much is that going to change the trajectory? And if Beachbody did not come into my life, that would not be true. And let me tell you something, my kids are going to be 12 and they're 14 now. And so I'm starting to see them start to be adults and make adult decisions. And if you don't think watching me and watching the things that I have done in my life influences that, you're absolutely crazy because your kids are doing what you do, not what we say, what we do. And so you need to think, you know, my son is a grade level behind in reading. We just found this out, right? So we have to take him to tutoring. So we have this meeting and the tutoring is $10,000. $10,000. And the guy says to me, he starts sending us like loan plans. And so my husband goes, well, we don't need that. We'll just pay it up front. And I thought to myself, holy shit, who am I to keep this business opportunity to myself? Because if somebody other than me was in that position, they might not be able to afford the help for their child because I was too embarrassed about what they thought, or I was too embarrassed about, you know, what they might think. It's not up to me. There are literally generations of people that can be changed because we are bold about this business and what this opportunity can do. And even if they don't make $1 in this business, just the idea of working on themselves and changing who they are and being more positive and eating better makes a huge difference. And I thought to myself, you know, I went into this business not needing financial. I didn't need the financial part of it when I first started this business. And I think there's a lot of people who go into this business who don't need the financial part. And then they kind of act like, well, I don't need to ask people. Like, I don't need the money. Guess what? It's not about that. It is about this opportunity can change someone's life. And good, I'm glad you make a ton of freaking money. But that doesn't mean that you hold somebody else's promise in your mouth because you don't want people to think like, oh, I need money or whatever. It's not about that. It literally is about what this business can do and how much that could make a difference. And you know what? We don't know what goes on in people's lives. We don't know somebody's in an abusive household where being able to make $200, $300 a month might be enough money to just be put away so that they can leave their existing situation so that they can pay for rent somewhere. Like, we don't know. We do not know that. And therefore, when I finished reading this book, I was like, God, I have been so wrong not to talk to people about this business opportunity and not to realize how much it can change someone's life and how much I might be giving somebody a gift. I know just in my own business, I feel like I have gotten so many women out of abusive relationships. It's actually freaking amazing. Like, literally gotten somebody to the point that they are like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this, and I'm going to stick up for myself, and I'm going to leave this abusive situation. Like, how freaking powerful is that? And that's what this business is about. And so when you do personal development, and this is something that Nicole kind of talked about this morning. She's like, I venture to believe that most people are not doing personal development. And I know for myself, when I get into like my valleys, I'm not doing personal development like I say I am. Like, you know, I might be listening to a podcast or whatever. I'm not really. And he talked about the difference between, are you information gathering or are you truly doing personal growth? Because information gathering is you're like, hey, I'm reading You Are a Badass. That's a good book. Yeah, I'm reading this. Yeah. But you're not doing anything about it. And so your personal development should make you take action. It should make you take action, and it should help you to become the person you need to be to get to the next level. Because it doesn't matter where you are in this business, we're all going to a next level. And we all need to be enlightened about something. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to write down, and you don't have to do it now, but write down what your big goal is. Like, what is your big ass goal in this business? Like, if you could get it like in 6 months and there's going to be nobody that's going to stop you or whatever, like literally, what would it be? Is it 15 star? Is it you would make 6 figures? Like, what is this big goal? Then I want you to think of 10 characteristics that you need to be in order to be that person. So like if you're 15 star diamond, or if you're making 6 figures a year, who do you need? What characteristics do you need to be? 10 of them. I'm going to run upstairs. I got to get my plug, of course. But I'm going to wait while you're... Then I want you to rate yourself. And I hope that out of those 10 characteristics, you'll have characteristics that you can rate yourself. Like, I'm an 8. Like, I feel really good about that. So I don't want it to be a list of characteristics and you're like, you know what? I don't have any of them. And then I want you to pick 3 characteristics that, man, if I really worked on this, this could actually get me to my goal. Like, what are the 3 characteristics that if you worked on them, you would get to your goal? And then there is your personal development plan. Those 3 characteristics that you circled, that you said, if you really worked on them, go find personal development that helps you do that. Because that's a personal development plan. That's how you bridge getting from where you are to where you want to be. And then the last thing I will tell you in the book, before we get to Ultimate Portion Fix, is a lot of people think this business is about working with the willing. And so here's the thing. There is nobody that comes into my business that is like, you know, I really don't want to work this business. Like, everybody tells me they want to work the business. Everybody tells me they want to be successful. So that's not the question. The question is, what are you not willing to do in your business? And I don't mean anything illicit or anything bad. I mean, like, where's the area that you're not willing to go? Like, it just scares the bejesus out of you. Like, what are you not willing to do? Because I got to tell you, for a long time in my business, I was not willing to go and talk to people about the business. And I was very lucky that people came to me. But I know now that my business probably has not grown as far as it could have, because that was an area I was not willing to go and do. And so when you can get that list to almost 0 of things you're not willing to do, you will find success. Like, if every time you're sick, you completely disappear from your business, that's an area you're not willing to do right now. If every time you're depressed, or every time like things get stressful and you walk away from your business, that's an area you're not willing to do. And so when you start to realize that it's not the willing stuff, right? Because this job would be so awesome if all we had to do is when we felt like it. But it's the non-willing stuff that actually kind of lets us know what's really going on. And then the last thing is this. We all came into this business with literally paying nothing. And so we got our coach fee waived, right? Because we bought a challenge pack. And the challenge pack was not samples. It was stuff that we were already using. And so because we hardly paid anything for the business, we treat it like it's a little business, right? You treat it like it's a $40 business sometimes. But that's not what it is. It literally is $1 million business. Like, I knew when I put pedal to the metal that I was building $1 million business. And you know what? It might have taken me 6 years, but it created $1 million because that's how I treated it. And so what's the number? Like, what number would you have had to pay to get in as a coach that would make this business something that you paid attention to, something that it's not the first thing that gets, you know, thrown off your list? Like, what is it? Like, because I don't know about you, but if you had rent and that rent was due every month and you knew you had to sell things in order to make that rent, because I know a lot of you, some of you on here are business owners, you know what that's like. So figure that out and then be utterly grateful that you get to build this $1 million business and you don't have to pay that. You don't have a payroll. You don't have rent. You don't have a bank loan. You don't have investors that are like, hey, are you going to make some money? Like, my husband had a failed business like 2 years ago and like had investors give us $1 million. And guess what? The business didn't work out. And so you better believe that he was figuring out how to make that work. And so sometimes I think that we are not grateful that we get to run this business. And what do we pay? $15.99 a month? And then $99 for a shake? It's like freaking amazing. And so figure out like, and if the number is like $500, like if Beachbody charged you $500 a month to become a coach and call yourself a coach every month, I would bet you any amount of money you would show up more. And so start showing up more and start being grateful that you get to run this business on such a limited amount of funds, like literally. So that's just some of the book. Towards the end, it starts to get into like, how do you attract leaders? How do you build leaders? How do you mentor them? And, you know, a lot of the mentoring he talks about needs to be based on action. And so I used to meet with a lot of my coaches, and I felt like my job when I met with coaches was like, oh, you're great. You can do this. You're great. And you know what? Like I said today, and Kelly said, we can tell people that they're superstars every freaking day. But if a mentorship is not, hey, you told me you wanted to build this business. What are you doing to build this business? How can I help you build this business? You're just not going to, it's just not going to work, because your coaches, they think that your job is to keep igniting them. And your job isn't to ignite anybody. That's their job. Their job is to ignite themselves. Your job is to mentor them and to be like, hey, you know, this is the issue you're going to have. Hey, let me see your messages. Like if we talk on the phone and you have not sent a single message out, what the heck can we talk about? It's a waste of your time and it's a waste of my time. And like there's a huge elephant in the room that you're not messaging. And so instead of having an awesome conversation like, oh, I think you're talking too much, or, oh, let's try this, it becomes, you're great, you can do this. And that's not helping anybody. So like I said, I think it's really awesome. It was quick read. I personally am going to probably change my coaching email to tell all my business building coaches to read that. I think it's less frou-frou than Girl Get Over Yourself, because Girl Get Over Yourself is like messaging and all that other stuff. But like this is more like the brain work that people need to do to make that adjustment. So let's talk about Ultimate Portion Fix. So Ultimate Portion Fix is the first program that's going to be done a little differently, because it used to be that our launches were everybody could get in. And so one of the ways that they want to help enhance the coaching network is that they want to make our products only available to coaches first, as another kind of reason to be a coach. And so on March 4th to March 18th, I believe, this will be available to existing coaches, but it will also be available to coaches who want to sign up. And it doesn't matter if they're a discount coach. It doesn't matter if they're a working coach. It just matters that when they're signing with a pack, they're choosing to sign up as a coach. And so you have this window of opportunity between March 4th and March 18th to really get your people super excited to the point that they will sign as a coach just to get their hands on it. And so I know when the 21-day fix came out, it was the first time I looked at a launch like, I'm going to build my business with coaches with this. And so it wasn't just, oh, this is another program. It was, I'm going to build my business with working coaches. And so literally every conversation I had with people was that they could do this, they could find confidence, and they could turnkey it and show other people how to do it and make an income. And I kept that so simple. And guess what? Most people were like, yeah, I'll do it. Some people were like, I think I want to be a customer, which is cool. But you need to let people know that this is an opportunity that they can jump on and help use the momentum of it to move your business to the next section. Because I know the 21-day fix created an elite business. And so you literally, this could be the program that takes your business from emerald or diamond to 5-star and above. Like, it literally can happen that way. So on March 4th, there's packs. And so there's two things. There's packs that are 4 of them for people who want to sign as customers and coaches. And then there's 2 packs that are only for coaches, and they're have the certification attached to them. And so one of the things that's really cool about the certification is the certification is going to be about $99. But when you buy it in the pack, it's only going to be $39. So literally an extra $39 gets you to learn exactly how to teach somebody the container system. You're going to learn how to sell it. So this is what's different about the 2B mindset certification and then the portion fix. The portion fix part of the certification is learning actually how to sell this to people. And it's going to have a social media training. It's going to have, this is how you talk about sugar addiction on social media. And so for literally $39, I think it's worth it. I personally think that anytime you can have a certification makes it look to people like you're more serious about your business, that you know more. And I think the fact that it's so deeply discounted, like there's a big difference between $39 and $99. And so I would jump at it. So there is going to be 4 packs. And so the first pack is always just the kit. The second pack is the kit with Shakeology. The third pack is the kit with Shakeology and Beachbody On Demand. And then the 4th kit is the performance line, the kit, and Beachbody On Demand. And so they didn't do the deluxe packages and things like that because they really didn't want to, number one, overwhelm the network with like 150 million sample, ideas, because when you give people too many choices, the answer's no. And so they wanted to kind of make it simple. And so whether you're a coach or whether you're a customer, all of those 4 things are available to you, and none of them contain the certification. The ones with the kits with Beachbody On Demand, I believe, have the lunch bag in it. So the lunch bag is actually pretty cool, whatever, that I've been told. But let's just say your person wanted to buy the kit and they want to buy the lunch bag. The lunch bag will be on sale. So you can always add it in. It'll be like at a sale price or whatever. Or if somebody wanted to buy one for their husband and one for them, or one for their kid and one for them, they can do that. The next 2 packets are only for coaches, and it's the base kit and the certification, and then the base kit with Shakeology and the certification. And so, when you have a conversation with somebody, you should probably let them know for an extra $39, they can actually learn more about how to actually help other people. And that could be one of the things that they want to do. And that if they want to do it now, it's going to be cheaper than $99 later on. The packs, the challenge packs, will be $20 off the first month. And then just the kit itself will be $10 off. What else did I want to tell you? It's going to be found so when you go to share a cart, it will be under nutrition. So you'll go to nutrition, and then you'll see the emblem for Ultimate Portion Fix, and then you'll see the drop-down menu of all the options that are there. And so that's the basics of it. I purposely didn't want to go into what Ultimate Portion Fix is, because I pretty much think that Autumn does a better job, and they've done like a million things. Is the Master Series? Yes, I believe them. I have to double check that, but I think the Master Series is also only available to the certification too, in the coach thing. So how to sell this. So here's where I feel like I don't want to make a mistake again, because I feel like last year a lot of people got great 80-day obsession results, and then nobody used them, because it's like we went to 2B Mindset, right? And 2B Mindset was a great money maker, but I feel like it took some of my coaches off task, and it made them sort of not have the same momentum as I felt like they had with 80-day obsession. And so part of me is like, yes, you need to grab onto this momentum of March 4th to the 18th, because it'll allow you to sign coaches. But I don't want you to totally like ignore your Transform 20 results either, because, you know, people have been watching you for a long time, and I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, well, we're doing this now, you know, like you sort of need to kind of have a graceful way to be able to segue to it. And so I know for myself, you know, I'm one of the coaches in the network that's known for the 2B Mindset. And a lot of people know me that. And I'm like, how am I going to bring these freaking containers out? Like, people are going to think I'm like nuts. And so I started to kind of share a story about how during Transform 20, I actually do use the portion control. It's just that the way my portion control is now is totally different. Like, I eat the same amount of containers, but yet 75% of my foods are different, which is why the portion control works now, because it wasn't working before, because I was eating all these foods that were bloating me and stuff. And so I also personally chose to do the 80-day obsession, because the 80-day obsession comes with time nutrition. And I felt like it was a way that I could retain my own integrity, and I could explain to people that I was using the containers and stuff like that. And here's the thing, if you're a 2B Mindset person, you don't need to throw that out like with the baby and the baby water. A lot of people, what I've realized, have no clue about portion control. And this Ultimate Portion Fix is not just about the containers. Like, the containers is one part of it. It's about sugar addiction. It's about learning about what foods are inflammatory for you. It's about choosing like how you should eat. You know, like if you're a marathoner, if you teach classes, if you are a bodybuilder, like how do you choose the right foods and stuff like that? And so it's not just, hey, we're going to bring the containers out and we're just going to do it. It's not that at all. And I got to tell you, I know for my coach, Danielle, I was like, she's not going to use those containers. And then she was like, I didn't realize that she had become a vegan, and she just didn't know how to eat. And so she was using the containers to kind of figure out like how to eat as a vegan and get enough food in. And I thought to myself, well, how many people, you know, like sometimes we're also used to the containers that we don't realize that other people have no clue how much brown rice they're supposed to eat. They have no clue what a portion of vegetables looks like. Like, I got to tell you, and here's the thing, most people are not eating enough vegetables. Like, I showed on my IG stories that I cooked zucchini noodles for dinner. and the whole bag fit into a green container. So how many people are not eating the whole bag of that zucchini? Because the bag says what? 4 servings. And so like I went live in that. And so I've been trying to approach it that way. I've been trying to approach it like, do you know what a portion is? Like, here's the thing. I have a son that's like at an elite level now for football. Like, he's going to start traveling all over the country now with a team. I need to feed him like an athlete. I need to figure out things. And so I literally went back to the containers to learn how to feed him, to learn how to put weight on him. You know, like they're just telling me like to feed him like, oh, just make sure he eats a lot of cookies and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want him to gain weight and he's eating crap. I was like, I want him to gain weight and put muscle on. And so I was like, how many containers does he have to eat to gain weight and stuff like that? And I think that, you know, for a lot of us women or men, we know how to feed ourselves. But then when it comes to our kids, we're not sure. And so we're not using the containers with our kids. Like, okay, Susie, we're going to go on a diet now. No, it's going to be about like, how many vegetables should your kids be eating? What kind of vegetables? Like, what are some things that you can, like the number one thing that people can't get over when they talk to me is that I cook the same thing for my kids as I eat. Like, that's just mind blowing to them. And I'm like, well, why would I feed my kids crap if I'm eating like well? And so like, and I realized that they just have no clue. And that the way they make their food is like bland chicken and broccoli. Like that's how they make their food. And so of course your kids aren't going to want to eat that kind of stuff. And so there's so many ways that you can approach this. And so I would do this. Figure out your demographic. Figure out what would make this interesting to them. Like I think Lauren in the group, like a couple weeks ago, she shared that people in her demographic are like all into macros. And that she figured out that like, guess what? The macros are exactly the same as the containers. And you don't have to have a scale. You don't have to do all this extra work. If you do this, you can do it. Figure that out. I know a lot of women have sugar addictions. Like if that's your demographic that's going to work, talk about that. Talk about that is going to be trained, how you overcome it. And just keep hitting people's pain points. Because if you try to make it for everybody, you're going to hit like nobody's ears. And so think about what is going to make people pay attention. Because I know for me, I have more people asking me about my nutrition. Now I've gone back to using the containers than when I was using 2B Mindset. Because 2B Mindset to a lot of people is a little too, I don't know, it's a little too big. I don't know if they do the work. I don't know if they read the videos. I don't know what it is. But I think people still want to be told kind of what to do, or they want some guidance. And so I think that lends itself. And I will also say this. I think the mistake they made with 2B Mindset is that it didn't come with a workbook. Like if you took the 2B Mindset certification, that workbook that they gave you to practice for the test was awesome. Like if people as customers did that workbook, they would have understood the program. And so Beachbody is like, you know what? We need a workbook that people need to go through this. And let's face it, some people are not going to do the workbook, but some people will. And so it will be a workbook that they go through it. And so the actual containers, like if somebody says to you, I know the containers, why the heck am I going to buy this? You can tell them that there's 6 different parts to it. And the actual portion control is only one part of it. And so it's not that they're just regurgitating some container lessons. And if you watch Autumn's video, which I posted, I think, she gets into all the different 6 layers of it and stuff. So here's my feeling. We will run a launch group like we always do. The only thing is we probably won't get Autumn to actually be in there, but my mastermind group has a call with Autumn, and usually we try to schedule our calls while we're doing our launch group, because then we can invite the people who went in there. So I want people to get to Success Club. And so if you're not at Success Club, I actually don't want you to think of Ultimate Portion Fix for this second. I want you to woohoo, follow through and get that done, because you still have time. But I was going to open the group up March 1st to kind of open it up, say hello, whatever. Because let's face it, March 4th will allow us to have our coaches buy it. And all of us make money in our volume if coaches buy it. And so if we can just on March 4th make sure that our coaches are buying it, that helps us volume-wise. And so we can use the rest of the week to explain what it is, what it's going to be. I don't like these launch groups to be super confusing and super, and in fact, I actually think I'm going to turn off the commenting so that only the administrators can post, because then it kind of calms down the noises. And so it's just going to be, what is it? What comes with it? I'll probably get somebody who is in the test group to talk about it. And then, like we always do, the kind of selling, the closing and things like that. I think that I am going to probably have some of the coaches who have found great success with the portion control to give their stories, because I think that's really important, because we have a lot of great stories with portion control. I mean, Dawn lost 55 pounds. Tanya, I think, lost 70 pounds. Nicole lost 30 pounds. And so I think putting in those real life stories with the portion control helps too. But start prepping your people. Start using curiosity more to start getting people ready for it. Start asking questions. I know that on IG stories, I'll probably do polls, do you understand portion control? Or do you know exactly what you need to eat in order to get the body you want? Maybe that will be a poll that I do on social media, or I'll do it on Facebook. And so all of those people that comment, they literally become fair game for you to invite them and invite them to learn about this. A good question might be, would you consider becoming a coach if you knew exactly how to tell people how to eat? How awesome of a question is that? Because most people, right, they don't want to coach because they feel like they don't know enough. And so if they had a nutrition course that was written so that they could help people lose weight, including themselves, would they be interested in learning more? There's so many different questions. And so think about what's going to be people's pain points. Think about what's going to get their curiosity. In my IG stories, I just started showing my containers, casually started showing my containers. I just started casually talking to people about, and I've told people, if I want to get ripped, I use the containers, because the containers are the easiest way that I can get ripped. If I want to look freaking great in a bikini, but I want to drink every weekend and I want to go out to dinner all the time, the To Be mindset is what I use. And so like I let people know, and guess what? I hate to say it, but I've realized most of the people that follow me want to get ripped. Like they're probably like, yeah, be waiting for that information. So figure out like what your people are, what it can be, whether or not, you know, it's funny because I had this conversation with Amber Costello because I feel like Amber and I are like 2B mindset people, like that's our thing. And it was interesting how much Amber was convincing me how much people could be helped by the portion control. And so regardless of how you eat, this can actually help people, and you can do it in a way that maintains your integrity, that maintains your way that you find eating to work for you. And we could still help a lot of people. So that's all I have about Ultimate Portion Fix. If you have any questions, you can ask in the chat, but I would definitely check out the autumn call. I don't know if the Beachbody Champions page, that training was like any different. But otherwise, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.